Well, since it's spooky season and I'm still on a bit of a light gun kick, it's finally time to talk about the best House of the Dead game that doesn't actually bear the name, let alone have zombies. But you may realize just how similar today's game is to Sega's zombie franchise when I tell you the people who made House of the Dead made this game. More specifically, Yoshinori Tomoyasu of WoW Entertainment and House of the Dead series director Takashi Oda. While waiting for work on the next House of the Dead entry, which wouldn't appear on Sega arcade hardware until the third game, Tomoyasu wanted to develop a game for Namco's Systems 246 arcade hardware. The System 246 is basically PS2 arcade hardware. This is kind of shocking since Sega always used, and still uses, their own arcade hardware. Once Tomoyasu met then Namco president Masaya Nakamura, the ball got rolling on a new light gun game, as well as an arcade partnership. This game was to use the System 246, and it would also be manufactured and distributed to arcades by Namco. That game became Vampire Knight. The game would find a release sometime in either very late 2000 or very early 2001. Exact release dates for the arcade version seem to conflict, though an IGN article points to March 2001 as being more accurate. In spite of this, the game was a sleeper hit, and a PS2 port was inevitable, even though Tomoyasu never envisioned a PS2 port for the game. By all accounts, development of the port did not go well due to WoW Entertainment not being too familiar with the System 246, which in turn made developing a PS2 port more difficult compared to if the game came out on the Naomi. Not to mention, there was a last-minute audio bug that had to be fixed, but the game had already been shown off at E3 2001, AOU 2001, and there was a press junket Namco had in conjunction with Japanese late-night game show Miniskirt Police. Yeah, Japan is a whole different beast when it comes to this sort of thing. This was also to promote Time Crisis 2 and the GunCon 2. Plans for new levels and enemies in special mode were scrapped since they couldn't be done in time. In spite of this, the game released on time. Vampire Knight was developed by WoW Entertainment, published by Namco, and it was first released in arcades in March of 2001. The PS2 version released in North America on November 13th, 2001. The Japanese version released on December 6, 2001, and PAL Regions got the game on June 14th, 2002. Vampire Knight does lend itself to being one of the better non-Time Crisis GunCon 2 games that are still rail shooters. If you like House of the Dead, you'll love this. Let's check it out. Vampire Knight has several modes of play. Arcade mode contains the original arcade game. Special mode is the original arcade mode, but it has some twists to make it unique. For starters, you can shoot objects like crates, barrels, and vases. These objects will now contain silver. Silver can be used to buy stronger weapons and various items that will help you. These items can give you a score multiplier, more life points, bigger magazine count, etc. Various villagers you encounter can also give you missions that if you complete, they will give you silver as a reward. You can equip and buy various items in the menu before you start a game in this mode. It's basically like the original mode in House of the Dead 2, but you have to buy the items with the silver you find instead of finding the items themselves. The missions also seem to account for the lack of different paths in these games. Though there are still some in chapters 2, 3, and 4 for the main game, there just aren't any new extra paths here. The last main mode in the game is training mode. You're given various tasks that will help you get better at the game. From shooting a certain number of targets within the time limit, rescuing all villagers within the time limit, etc. There are 3 levels to each of these training missions, and they each get harder as you move up. Skilled House of the Dead veterans will probably get through these faster than the first-time players, especially because the gameplay of this is pretty much House of the Dead. Well, there are differences with how it handles certain things, mainly the hostages. When you encounter them, a sarcoma parasite is wrapped around them. If you shoot the parasite itself, the hostage is free. If you don't, they turn into a vampire who must be put out of its misery. Other than that, the game is pretty much like House of the Dead 2. You move from point A to point B through the level, shooting whatever it is in your way while saving hostages. From stage 2 and on, at the end of the stage, there is a boss with a very obvious weak point that you shoot over and over until it goes down. So take what I said in my House of the Dead 2 remake review about the gameplay, which itself was derived from the House of the Dead 2 original gameplay, and apply it here. Though stronger enemies do now have health bars, they still do have weak points. Hell, it even controls like House of the Dead 2. The best way to play is with a GunCon 2 / Sinden. Very simple, easy, and it works just like it does in the arcades. Hell, the pump function on the Sinden, which is equivalent to the C button on an actual GunCon 2, pretty much makes this feel like a precursor to House of the Dead 3, since it feels like you're using the shotgun from that game. Shoot the enemies on screen, pump to reload, and yeah. So once again, there's not really much to say from a gameplay / control standpoint that I haven't already said before. That's the frustrating part about reviewing these types of games. It's trying not to sound like a broken record. Fortunately, Vampire Knight has a very unique look that helps it stand out. The game's level design, at least for the main castle you go into, and I'm assuming some of the other adjacent areas, seem to be inspired by Gothic architecture. The castle you see in the distance, parts of the village, insides of the castle, it's honestly a design choice that not many games were using, let alone light gun games, and it surprisingly works well here. From the castle you visit, inside and out, the village itself, and even the opening cemetery, it creates a dark yet cool looking theme that stands out from what you've seen before. The closest comparison I feel I could make to this is Devil May Cry, but that was like a whole other different genre with hack and slash. With light guns games, you really hadn't seen this sort of thing before. It also helps that the environments are technically well rendered. Sharp textures for buildings, objects, and everything else in between. Even the character models look cool. They have unique designs with what they wear, both the bosses and the player characters. These are also well rendered, though Caroline, well, when we get to her, you'll see she's kind of a bit palish looking. And there is a decent amount of variety when it comes to enemies. Standard demon-looking vampires, knight-looking vampires, flying demon ones, and many more. Though animations for these do feel recycled, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. The bosses themselves look pretty cool, and the transformed versions of them are insane to look at. Overall, Vampire Knight succeeds on both technical and aesthetic levels. The game also seemingly runs well with little to no visual compromises. No surprise given the System 246 to PS2 pipeline. The sound design for the game is also no surprise. The music itself presents a more techno-oriented fast-paced ordeal to match the hectic action, as if it was built from the ground up for such intense shootouts. But it also contains dramatic riffs and motifs to really enhance the European nature of it all, given where it takes place. Some of the less hectic moments use more slower and dramatic music, and the soundtrack on the whole is pretty good, though the actual tracks are short, and you might not realize how much they are actually looped. Many of the sound effects have been recycled from, well, House of the Dead 2. From gunshot sounds, hitting metal, reload sounds, etc. Still, the sound design was good in the original House of the Dead 2, and that has carried over successfully here. Not much more to say. Sadly, something else that has carried over is the voice acting. Yeah, it was bad in House of the Dead 2, and it's bad here, everyone. Delivery is all over the place. Sometimes flat, sometimes it's all hammed up, etc. And I swear it sounds like some of the actors are trying to learn English on the job. Mikkel's VA is especially noteworthy of this. It almost feels like him, along with several others, are trying to do accents. I guess European accents. But they just sound like Japanese people learning English. In a weird way, it warps back around to being almost avant-garde with how bad it is, much like in House of the Dead 2. This is what happens when a Japanese-made game tries to do English voice acting. With all the training missions, completing all of them unlocks free play, hunter files, and items for special mode. There is some replayability, but let's get through the story mode first. The plot stems from a 300-year war between light and dark. Vampire leader Augusti, who looks like Dracula if he were portrayed by Al Pacino, and his followers represent dark. Two vampire hunters, Mikkel and Albert, represent light. We find ourselves in the far-off year of 2006, which is now funny in hindsight, but hey, I guess even if you set it 5 years into the future, it seemed like a pretty big deal. Mikkel and Albert find Augusti in a 19th century era French village. Armed with just their pistols, Mikkel and Albert look to put an end to this war.
We're here at last.
Yes. How long I've waited for this moment.
Let us settle this once and for all. Who shall live and who shall die?
Looks like nothing survived here, too. They're coming.
Their journey starts in a cemetery where they work their way down the hill closer to the village where they encounter a young girl, Caroline. She was the only survivor after her village was hit by vampires. After attempting to free those trapped by sarcoma, the stage ends.
Wait! Who are you?
We hunt the creatures of the dark.
Vampire hunters.
This stage is basically an introduction of what to expect from the game and isn't too hard as a result. No bosses here either, but don't worry friends, there are plenty of those on display. Stage 2 starts with the various followers taking note of us, and one of them, Bartholomew, heads off to fight Mikkel and Albert.
Interesting. Let's see them do better.
The group make their way to the bridge, which is let down as the stage begins.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We start moving throughout this village as we deal with a barrage of vampires, especially now ones with swords. Now you can see where the name came from on top of the design of some of them. You end up rescuing one guy from a sarcoma who doesn't even remember where he is.
Where am I? What am I doing here?
You also save Caroline at a couple points. This seems to happen quite a bit throughout the campaign. We then keep moving forward as we make it into the square and encounter Bartholomew.
Stay back! Amazing. Your powers. I am the one who serves the vampire. What a joy. Finally meet such powerful ones. Draw your guns. Don't disappoint me.
You start by shooting him to stop him from slicing you with his sword. You move further up through a tower shooting normal enemies until you make it into a forest, where the boss shows up. Now he'll start throwing these moving slash attacks as you keep moving. Keep shooting him until you get to the castle. You make your way inside, and he reaches his final form.
I never thought I'd meet such worthy opponents. But the fun's over. Be prepared, because I've no mercy for you. This sword will mark your grave!
The weak point is his head. If you've been on top of it, his health will be halfway, or less than halfway, depending on how good you are, down by this point. The training exercise has you fight him full health in his last form. He's got a full health bar. So, this part is practically child's play. Just keep at it and he goes down.
Why protect the humans? What are you fighting for? Why?
Stage 3 starts off with Guillaume not too happy about what just happened. I probably butchered the name, sorry, but it is what it is.
Lose to humans? We are not made for defeat. You're no vampire.
Then Caroline gets taken by him.
Have you gone crazy? Pointing a gun at me?
Don't worry. This gun knows who to destroy.
What a coincidence. I know too. And it's you! After I'm done with you, no one will know if you existed or not.
He starts throwing these fireballs that bounce a couple of times before barreling towards you. This happens a few times, and we continue to work our way through the castle, fending off more regular enemies. And then we see him again with more of those damn fireballs. We then work our way through an area I'm assuming is near a forge before making a crazy jump through a fan. After going through a tunnel and dealing with rolling enemies, which are a bigger pain in the ass to hit by the way, we move through an elevator for the boss showdown.
Don't be so sure of yourselves, humans! You stupid humans! I'll show you how incompetent you are!
He doesn't even waste time transforming into his demon form. You start on one side and you keep shooting him at his weak point enough until the game lets you jump to the other side. By the time you reach the final point, his health should be low enough to quickly finish him. Again, the training exercise has you fight him with a full bar of health from the last point on. This actually goes for several of them, but you'll see soon enough.
So, that's the way it is it? Me, defeated by humans? Never!
Caroline is saved once again.
That was scary.
Stage 4. The remaining followers deal with the fallout of this.
He's been defeated.
He deserved it.
You still can't forget about her.
What do you know? What I have lost. The pain I have suffered. Now, let's see what a human can do.
We continue to move throughout the castle, taking out more enemies when Raoul shows up out of nowhere.
I must admit, you have done well. Go. Humans? How vain can you be? Enough! You humans disgust me! Now it's your turn to suffer!
His boss fight starts with him flexing his fencing skills. He tends to make a ghosting image with 3 of himself. Keep shooting the real one until he disappears for a bit. You end up in a corridor eventually, and saving someone with a sarcoma.
Impossible! You can't take them on with just a gun!
What do you think we've been doing all game? Caroline can fall through a portal and open up a different path if you aren't quick enough. If you are, you go through a darkened area. Regardless, you end up in the library where Raoul is waiting for you. He'll still use that ghosting clone technique, but now he'll hop up on broken pillars. He'll then try to jump strike you. Keep attacking him until he retreats.
You humans make me remember I couldn't save her. This pain, to heal my pain, I shall sacrifice my soul and be a vampire. Humans, heal my soul!
The boss here is somewhat similar to Judgment from House of the Dead 2, mainly in the fact that you need to shoot Raoul to drain the health. Though if you don't hit him in time, the big behemoth can do some attacks. Yet another one of the training exercises where the final section of the boss must be fought with a full bar of health. Take him out and get a load of this.
Sophie, please forgive me.
No! Please save him! Hasn't he suffered enough? Humans suffer, right?
Why? Why am I still alive?
Live your life as a human. Fight your soul. Once again.
Stage 5 begins. Only Diane remains.
Please wait! Sir Vampire!
You stay here. I shall go.
No! Please let me! I'll hold them off for sure.
We then work our way through the waterworks. You know, with some adjustments. This area wouldn't feel too far off in a Klonoa game. You'll especially see what I mean when we get to the boss part. You trek through the area. She tries to stop you several times as you move through the corridors and open areas and the like. You eventually end up in a place similar to where you started.
So you have come this far. But I cannot let you go any further.
Have it your way.
Wait! Why can't you settle your differences? Why do you hate each other?
Humans and vampires compromising. What a silly thing you say, little one. But I can't stop here. The warmth Sir Vampire has given me. I can't turn back now.
With her transformation complete, you have to hit her in the top half. It's tougher when she has the shield of mini tornadoes up, and this is also the case when she goes underwater. I should mention that unlike the other exercises that involve boss battles, how it plays out here is exactly how it plays out in the training. Keep shooting her weak point and you can see how it ends.
Little one. What you said may be true. Thank you. And farewell. My beloved vampire.
With that, it's on to the final stage. Caroline has to stay behind as Mikkel and Albert head off to confront Augusti.
Let us settle this once and for all. What we started 300 years ago. This battle is for my devoted followers. The end to all.
Augusti has multiple attacks in the first part. The first one has him sending blue flaming bats towards you to attack you. He can also send a wheel of bats your way, and he'll just straight up run into you with a shield of bats protecting him. The training exercise only consists of this phase. That's right, get his health down enough and there's another phase.
What has changed you? 300 years. Where there is no light, there is no shadow. Knowing this, still want to fight?
Our destiny is where our fate takes us.
I shall not be defeated. I am immortal. I am the vampire!
This is where he really starts to turn into the magician. He'll circle around you fast, he'll launch fire boulders from portals, and he can throw slashing blade attacks towards you. Or like at least, but multiple ones at that, and on top of sending tornadoes your way. Get through that phase, then he'll just try to turn invisible and sneak upon you. Keep hitting him, and that's the game.
I will die. And so will you.
Due to the fact that Mikkel and Albert are half vampires, which you can tell by their glowing eyes if you look hard enough, and feeling that their work is done, they let the sunlight come up and vanquish them. 6 months later, Caroline visits the grave of them.
I'm alive. I shall not forget. My heart shall remember all.
Vampire Knight is one of the better Gun-Con 2 games on the PS2. All of this is in large part thanks to its House of the Dead-like gameplay. It looks good, sounds good, sans the crappy voice acting, controls well with a light gun, especially the Sinden making it feel like a precursor to House of the Dead 3, has a good amount of content to keep you engaged for a while, and its unique theme also helps it stand out. However, there probably isn't much here that you already haven't seen before in other light gun games. But when has that ever stopped you from enjoying these games? If you've got the necessary setup, CRT and GunCon 2, or modern TV with Sinden or equivalent, and you especially enjoy the House of the Dead series, give this one a go. I think you'll really enjoy it. PAL copies go for around $10 complete, with the GunCon 2 bundle around $50. Japan copies go for around $15, and US copies go for around $30 complete. GunCon 2 bundles go for around $93. Yeesh, I must have gotten hidden gemmed at some point. I don't know, even if you just emulate it, and I also recommend it because it's got a retro achievement set, something I didn't realize until when I went to go shoot the footage for this game or start playing it. Just play it. It's a lot more fun than you might think. I give Vampire Knight a 4 out of 5. Happy Halloween, everyone! Thanks for watching. Click subscribe below and check out the playlist on screen for more content. To help support the show beyond the usual means, check out my Patreon and Ko-fi on the link tree in the description. And come by my Twitch where I conquer my backlog one game at a time. See you in the next video!